All right, back with another podcast. I'm lucky to be in front of someone who I've known for a while now. His name is Hayes Pullard. I'm going to give you a quick intro, and then we can start in the conversation, Hayes. But anyway, so I've known you for a little while now. You have so many accolades, but I want to tell you what I'm most impressed about you. So first and foremost, NFL player. Obviously, to get in the NFL anyways is miraculous in itself. Small percentage against the NFL. And then a small percentage actually have tenures and some years in the NFL, and you had that too, Hayes. And now you're an entrepreneur doing an amazing business, really from scratching the surface. Literally started homegrown business, and now you're doing something big on that. But I'm most impressed about you is you're just a good human. You're a faith-based man. You're a good guy. You didn't get lost in the sauce, as you say. You're still a humble individual, but you're doing big things, Hayes. And I want to say, first and foremost, welcome to the podcast, and that's a little intro for you, Hayes.
Well, JD, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for giving me the flowers as well. But I'm gonna have to give those flowers over to Mama Dukes and Dad and whatnot. I mean, they've raised an extraordinary gentleman, and that's what I want to hold myself to that high regard. So thank you again.
Of course, man. So reason why I brought you to the podcast, I'm interviewing people who obviously has fascinating industries here. We can get from the beginning, where you grew up from, and then where you are today, and then tell all about your business you got going on now. So let's start from the beginning, man. Where are you born and raised?
So I'm LA born and raised, majority Inglewood, California.
Okay.
A lot of people know me from the Crenshaw area because that's where I went to high school. But went to Crenshaw High School, went on to play at the University of Southern California, and then played my NFL career with 5 extraordinary years in that, and then unfortunately got released. And I think, as we all know, when you get released from something, fired from something, you got to figure out that life after that situation.
Of course.
After that, any, I think, 21, 22-year-old is just trying to figure out, what am I going to do after this? Mom wants me to go into real estate because that's where I got my degree in. I want to get back into playing in the NFL because my inner child wants me to play back in the NFL.
You've been training your whole life. Just to turn it off, it'd be tough.
Oh, 100%. So my mentor is like, I want to play football. Mom wants me to get in real estate because she's like, you got your degree, so go do it. I'm like, that's the backup plan, but let's see what happens. And I remember at this moment, I was best friends with my partner today, Blake Wynn. And I mean, at this moment, he was a YouTuber and sneaker, and I'm just, a jobless, NFL player. And I'm like, you know what? If I can't get in the NFL to play, like, how about coaching it? So I remember reaching out to, 20 different, NFL coaches, 20 different college coaches. Anybody that's coached me, I remember going in my phone and texting every single one of them. Obviously, an auto text message like, "Hey, would love to coach. Would love to get."
Is that usually how it works? So if you want to coach, you reach out to people who've coached you in the past because they know you. Is that how it works typically?
I honestly did not know. I was just wanting to be more or less proactive because I'm sitting on the couch. Money's going out. No money's coming in.
I feel you.
I'm not in panic mode yet, but it's just like, you know what? If you want something, you have to go get it. And I think it was like, you know what? Reach out to Robert Saleh. Reach out to helton. Reach out to all these individuals. And I ended up getting one response back, and that was Helton, who was the head coach at University of Southern California. So that was a blessing in disguise. He ends up, funny story is, I remember reaching out to him. He was like, all right, Hayes, I'm going to give you a shot. And then 6 months later, I guess 6 months shortly after that, he didn't respond back to me. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm not going to get the job. Football season's approaching. And I remember spam texting him every single day for 2 straight weeks. And finally he gives me a call like, okay, I just wanted to see if you were actually serious about this.
So it was like a test.
Absolutely. Wow. So it was the persistency of, wanting to coach. Because a lot of people just want to coach and then they realize it's a little tougher when you get inside of it. And I can explain that after this. But he ends up getting me the coaching job. And I seen the experience. You see the early mornings, late nights, not being able to see the family. It's like, oh, this is the eye opener. It's not when you used to come in, practice, and then go home. No, now you're a teacher. This is when I start giving credits to a lot of teachers, professors, coaches, and all of that different stuff. And the blessing was I ended up getting 6 months at University of Southern California. And then one of the text messages I sent was Robert Saleh, who was the defensive coordinator back at the 49ers. He ends up giving me a call. I'm literally calling Blake 24 hours before I get this call like, I'm about to move to Vegas. I think I reached out to you for a house. And I'm like, well, let's get out to Vegas. Let's see how that experience is life. And I'll never forget, it's 7:24 a.m. in the morning. I had just woke up. I don't even know why. I had a brand newborn. Saint was up all night. And I'm like, all right, hello, coach? He's like, Robert Saleh. I'm like, really? What's up, coach? Like, how you doing? He was like, I'm thinking about getting a head coaching job in the NFL somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm just letting you know I'm going to give you a coaching job. I'm like, whatever you need, coach, let me know. I'm like trying to keep my cool.
Yeah, of course.
I end up hanging up, and I tell the wife, I'm like, I don't think we're moving to Vegas. I think
change of plans.
I'm like, I think we're going to get a coaching job. She's like, wait, what? Like we already sold our house. We already put everything in a storage locker. Like, what do you mean you're going to change the plan? I'm like, well, if Robert Saleh gets a head coaching job at Detroit, the Jets, wherever he goes, I'm going with him. I mean, I don't know what the pay's like. I just want to stay in the football lane. I'm not done with football yet, and I've always loved pouring back into the next generation. I think that's where majority of my passion was. So I end up getting that call and waiting. He finally gets hired at the New York Jets, and a week goes by. I'm like, again, like where's my message? Like, I'm like, hey coach, like what's up? And I'm like, I see him on press conferences, I see him on podcasts. I'm like, all right, like maybe he's just busy. Finally, he gives me a call. I think it was like 7 p.m. PST. He was like, yeah, you got a flight in an hour. I'm like, an hour? He was like, yeah, we're going to fly you out tonight. You're going to have a press conference the next day, and you're going to be a New York Jet coach. I'm like, all right, like, babe, I'm going to be going on a flight in an hour. Like, she's like, what about your clothes? They're all in storage. I'm like, I'm going out there just as is. So I ended up jumping on the flight, and, I mean, the rest was history, man. I mean, I did that for a quality year, and that was just so much fun.
Very cool, man. I think it's tough, man, because you're right. You're like, hey, I've been trained my whole life to be an NFL player, and your mind's still NFL, right? So you're like, I still want to, you say, I still have stuff to give. Maybe not physically, but mentally. I know the game. I want to pour back, like you said. So the fact that you got the opportunity is pretty cool, man. So yeah, and to your point, being a coach is much different than being a player.
Oh my gosh. I mean, to the preparation to just go into a day's work. I mean, just to explain, like I was up at 5, 6 in the morning because I wanted to make sure I stayed physically in shape, because I guess when you get to practice, you got to go demonstrate these plays, whether it's demonstrating getting off the blocks, demonstrating hand movements. So I'm going against the CJ Mosleys, like all these big individuals, and they bumping me. They throwing me off. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not ready for the NFL anymore. Like, I'm only 1 year detached.
I thought I was a coach. What am I doing here?
No doubt. So you're preparing for those meetings that you got to get ready for. So you're talking about grade sheets. You're talking about PowerPoints, clips of demonstrations, because everybody learns different. Some people learn from testing. Some people learn from visual. Some people want to go out there and do a walkthrough. So that was just like, okay, now you got to learn the players. Now you got to be able to activate different teachings for different type of players. Because you got rookies, you got players that's been in the league for 15 years that be like, okay, I'm ready. I got it. Where you got a rookie be like, he needs to see it. He needs to see it in action. He needs to walk it through and run it through before he gets it and locked in.
Yeah, it's like a normal teacher, different teaching styles, right? So everyone receives information differently. So your curriculum, so how you're going to present it to each person is different. And then, but you also all have the same timeline. Like everyone needs to know this by this date. So I got to figure out how everyone gets to know by that date and execute at this date. So that's tough.
100%. Yeah, it's definitely tough. But I mean, that's where I gave a lot of coaches before me, their flowers, teachers, professors, the whole thing. Like I give them their flowers, because that's a job that requires a ton of patience, and I don't think they get the credit that they deserve.
No, that's good. I'm glad you're putting it out there. So let's go back a little bit. Obviously, you're from Crenshaw, California. Was football your first love in sports, or what did you love before that?
God, no. I mean, I hated football, to tell you the truth. And I'm from a basketball family. All the boys in my family were basketball players. So that's what I grew up with, around basketball, shooting, dribbling it. And it wasn't until one of my older brothers saw me, and he was just like, get in the car, drive with me. I'm like, what? Like, all right, whatever. We get in the car. He drives me to a park. And it's a bunch of kids out there. It's helmets, shoulder pads. I mean, I know what football is, but I'm just like not knowing what's going on.
What age are you?
I'm like 7, 8 years old. And we get out the car. He walks up to this guy, and he just, you see him pointing at me, and I'm just like, what is going on? He's like, all right, get out there. I'm like, what? They throw a helmet on me, throw pads on, and instantly tears start running down my eyes. I'm just like, what is going on? Like, I don't want to play football.
Where's the rim?
Like, what is this? And I'm like, and mind you, football season kicks off in August. I mean, it's not Vegas heat, but
it's
to LA, it's still heat. It's like,
I play Pop Warner, and it's hot.
I'm like, hot, pads on. You guys are just running around the park in a circle. Like, what is this for? And I'm playing football, and after the first day, I'm like, I want to quit. I didn't say I wanted to do this. Why are you going to put me in this? And I'll never forget it. My brother sat me down, and he was like, one, you're bigger than every kid out there. Like what? Like why wouldn't you want to play football?
Yeah.
Like you are 7 years old. You're about 5'10", 175. Like the closest kid to you is like 5'5", 140.
Oh my goodness.
Like why? Like why wouldn't you want to play football? So I'm just like, I want to quit. My dad heard about this and he was like, wait, why you didn't ask Hayes if he wants to play? He was like, well, son, you already started it, so now you got to at least finish this season. And if you don't want to do it, then you don't want to do it. Weekend, we got conditioning week. We all know, we got hell week. I'm talking about, I'm crying every single day. Like I do
just count down the days, like don't want this over. Yeah,
bro. I'm just like 2-hour practice. Like okay, we did stretching. We did the running's coming. Oh my gosh, like I'm crying. And it wasn't until this specific moment that it was like, all right, line up in a circle. And this was before it was illegal. The Oklahoma drill.
Oh my goodness.
You know, like they sat me in the middle and because obviously I was the rookie.
Yeah.
But I'm bigger than everybody, but I don't know that I'm bigger than everybody.
Sure.
And they start 52, go, 23, go. And I'm flat backing every single kid that walks up. I'm talking about knocking them to the ground. I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. Like, I kind of like this.
Oh, my goodness.
And ever since then, I guess credit the nickname Man-Child because I was the biggest kid in that. And I felt for the love for the game. That's where I started to go to basketball practice after school, then football practice after school.
Wow.
Still hated the running part, but when it was time to hit, I was like, this is easy because all.
But I'm guessing you were such a good shape because of basketball, right? So so therefore, did it help?
It's a little bit of different shape because as we all know, like football is more quick burst.
Yeah, you're right.
A little bit. I guess not. It's just those pads. It's that helmet, where it's like, all right, run for 100 yards, hit somebody. Hit somebody, run 50 yards. You get the breaks, but basketball, I don't know, it's just, and it's enclosed too.
Good point.
Basketball
player. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's completely different.
You are conditioned for the sport to the foundation of it, but when you just like, all right, put these pads on, run 100 yards, it's like, okay, this is a little bit of tiring. And it was crazy because even when I went back to basketball, I'm like, I'm not even conditioned enough.
Interesting.
So it was like, it was weird, but end up playing that football and I got my first hit and I ended up instantly falling in love with it. And I was playing basketball, football all the way until my senior year in high school until mom's was like, well, you got 21 D1 scholarships in football. You're not playing basketball anymore. I'm like, Mom, I love basketball.
You can still play after hours?
No, she was like, you're not getting hurt. So I was just like, all right. So I'm just leaning to football.
So when did you, so you played basketball and football all the way until high school. Okay. Did you play both in high school then too as well?
Yes, I got several, not 21 D1 scholarships in basketball, but just half of them were like, hey, you can play basketball as well. So I was like, okay, this is pretty solid, but I'm also 6 feet, so this isn't going to probably work out. I mean, this is where before the Steph Currys, the Russell Westbrooks and all that. So I was like, to me, the mental was like, let's go play football. And I'm like, dang, I could actually play basketball. Probably not to the degree I play football, but I kind of limit myself in that aspect.
Did you have any moment where you thought like, oh, football could be my future? Or besides your mom saying like, hey, make a decision, was there any time before that you're like, oh, this could be something I could do?
I honestly didn't. I guess I knew about scholarships, but I never thought that was going to be on my table.
Got it.
It wasn't until I had come home from a practice and I seen moms crying in the living room. And we had one of those living rooms when you walk in the front door, the living room was in the front next to the dining room. And I'm like, why is my mom crying? I'm like, send my little brother to the back because at this moment I think it's sophomore year, I had just got like my permit, so I'm driving me and my little brother to school. And I'm like, hey, just go to the back. Like, let me talk to mom. And I'm like, Mom, why are you crying? She just stands up and gives me a hug. And I'm like, Mom, like, what's going on? Like, is Dad here? She's like, no, he's not here. I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, you got a scholarship. I'm like, for what? Like, I'm just like academic. Like, I didn't know it was for football because I just had got upgraded from JV to varsity. Only played one game. And she was like, yeah, you got a scholarship to UCLA. I'm like half, a quarter of the scholarship. She's like a full ride.
Wow.
And at that moment, I was like, oh, this is official. I can do this. Like, all right, like, let's go.
Wow. That's amazing. Did you have a coach in high school that was like pushing you or mentoring you to get to that next level?
Oh my gosh. His name was Robert Garrett. And I think a lot of kids that have went to Crenshaw, not only through my age, even my older brothers that are 40, 50 years old, he was there during when Crenshaw opened,
Sure.
let me say it like this.
Yeah.
Crenshaw opened in, I think, 1960.
Okay.
Everybody from 1960 till this current date know of Robert Garrett as the coach that more or less pushes you to limits that you can not even imagine.
How cool is that?
I'm talking about from a mentally and physical representation. Like, I still hold him to a high regard, over than a lot of my college coaches, a lot of my NFL coaches, because he was somebody that he saw you, but he saw you at this point.
That's beautiful.
Not when you came in as this freshman playing JV. You just want to talk to the girls, skip a little class. Like, no, like he saw you for what you were going to be. And if you didn't at least strive to be that, he was going to let you know, I guess, verbatim how it really was. He wasn't going to sugarcoat anything. Cool. Like, he's going to call you that MFer if he got to. Like, he's going to, hit you with a bag extra hard and let you know, like, no, you demand greatness for yourself.
It's funny. I watch a lot of, especially now with the Hall of Fame, with Antonio Gates going in, you see a lot of the speeches. A lot of them give a lot of credit to their high school coaches. I mean, like, hardcore to their I mean, college is there for sure, and then he goes NFL because it depends on the tenure, but they get a lot of love from high school coaches, right? And those are the coaches, to your point, who really see you as young men who can see the potential in you and push you and drive you, but literally almost become a mentor and a father figure as well. And I think it's a cool thing that you're able to call your high school coach for that, and for such a long time.
Absolutely. And I think it was a unique time for myself too, because I ended up losing my dad in my sophomore year, and he was already that father figure in my life. So when coach was already doing, XYZ, even when my dad was there, it was easy for me to just be like, okay, I can look to him. I can listen to him. This is an individual that's been through life at an extremely, low and high level. He's seen kids come through here, hundreds, literally from 1960 all the way in. So he's seen success. He's seen failure. And being at Crenshaw High, you're talking about an environment that has gangs, violence, success, failures. I mean, kids getting killed at 15, 16 years. He's seen it at, every single aspect. So I really leaned on him, a lot, even though whether he wanted it or not, I leaned on him, and I wanted to make sure I was doing everything correct, because I was not going to let my mom down. I did not want to let myself down, especially after getting that first scholarship as a sophomore.
That's awesome. So for you, obviously you grew in Crenshaw, and you just made a good point. There's a lot of Crenshaw activity that could derail you from your goals, right? What made you stay on the right path? I'm sure you could have made a left turn anytime and gone the wrong path. What was keeping you in line? Was it your mom, the motivation, or has it always been inside you?
I think it was the key foundation and the principles that my mom and my father instilled in me at a very young age. I'm a PK. I'm a pastor kid, so I've been deep rooted in faith and following the name Jesus Christ. And then secondly, I had a really cool dynamic of friends, growing up. We grew up in Inglewood. We went on to play at Crenshaw. And obviously day one, we got kids that walked up to us like, hey, you want to join a gang? That's forever. Right. And I remember looking at my brother, like Jean Baker, and he was like, nah, we good. Like, we're going to go play basketball. We're going to play football. And we're going to go to the NFL or NBA.
All right.
And he ended up going MLB out of high school.
Dope.
So, like, our friend group made sure, like, hey, like, if you want to gangbang, we're going to gangbang in our circle, but it's going to be gangbang in sports. It's not going to be gangbanging in the streets and, focus on the things that, really didn't matter. So I give those credits to my, my parents instilling those foundations and that fear in me, because I was more scared of the belt than you trying to beat me up. So if we gonna keep it on, that belt was more lethal. So like that's where that love, and I think that trajectory sent me.
Okay, that's good, man. That's what I think. I love you so much, man, because you can tell the foundation's there, and that's so important. I'm trying to instill that in my daughter right now, and I know your kids are going to be nothing but just like you in a good way too, man. Because not only is Crenshaw could be out, but also now being in the NFL, same situation, right? Now that you have money, you can do things that you didn't do before. You once again lost in the sauce, do things, and you can see there's so many endless stories of people becoming into addiction or drugs or whatnot, or lose all their money or whatnot, right? So but having that strong sphere around you is important. Like you said, your friends and your family kind of thing, and also being a PK was I'm sure a big benefit. So kudos for all that too, man.
Yeah, it's as you mentioned, like you got to have a tribe around you. Especially if they have the right heads on your head. I mean, that's it, right head, right. I guess how they perceive you. That's how you got to more or less accept that cloud around you. And I think that's where a lot of friends was like, no, you can go to the NFL, or hey, you can be a 4.0 student. Like when they start projecting that stuff on you, you start to believe in it. 100%. And I think that's where your friend circle, your family circle, and the people that actually believe in you, uncles, aunties, coaches, I think that's what, really lifts you up as an individual, 100%. Especially you talking about that sweet spot of 12 to 16 years old. Like I think that's where 100%. You get pushed in over that hump from good to great.
100%. I'm saying, I think, there's no better feeling here for someone who is a coach or long tenure coach who's seen Crenshaw, seen so many players come in and out who are done amazing things. You're like, hey, you have this. You're like, for real? like I do, and it pushes like, all right, let's do this, right? And
it's funny because my coach was actually the opposite of saying stuff like that. He would be like, you really believe that you gonna make it to the NFL? You gonna make times like he was tough around the edges, but it was a reverse psychology. It was like. Gotcha. That was slow. Like really, he was like, okay, I'm gonna run faster than him. So it was a tough love.
But then you knew that was him already, right? So you knew what he was doing for you. Right?
He almost knew who your friends and who your parents was, and obviously moms. When Pops passed away, she was like, oh, you're gonna be great. Mom love. He was like, I'm gonna do this through struggle. I'm gonna do this through pain. Like if I put you through all of this stuff, when you step into the real world, nobody can physically do anything to you, mentally downplay you in any way, because you're going to be ready for all of it.
Where's he at now? Do you know?
He's actually the AD and head football coach now at Crenshaw still. Wow. So he's not going anywhere. I still talk to him to this day. He literally gives me calls when players be like, oh, I know Hayes Pullard, and he'll call me like, do you know this kid? I'm like, no. I'm like, all right, bro. Like, this is so funny.
All right, so now you get to the NFL. Obviously, you have a great, you said five for teams kind of thing. So obviously that takes a different kind of mental strength as well, right? You're training, your different playbooks and this and that. What kept you so focused on the game? It was always just kind of your upbringing as well, kind of being successful in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, that's where that continued credit goes to my head coach. I'll never forget. I think it was my senior year. He was like, I don't know what else I can teach you. You're already, light years a lot of your peers. You're really good, but to take yourself to the next level, you need to learn how to study a playbook. You need to have to study it to know what the opponent does. You are already making 15 tackles and scoring X amount of touchdowns every game, but imagine if you knew what your opponent was doing before you even walked on the field. Right. And this was old school time. This was 2009. I remember Robert Garrett giving me a packet of papers. I'm talking about singular papers, but it was a packet, not like how could I say it? Like all hooked on together. You were able to take the paper off and do one by one. A packet this big, but every single formation had plays. Like you got HB dive, HB toss, and these formations. Wow. So I remember he would give this to me at first period, and he was like, I don't know how you gonna do it, but I need you to study it before we get to practice. So I'm in history, I'm in science class, I'm in math class, and I'm studying it whenever I can, teachers walking that way. Let me get this. She's walking. Let me get over here.
That's great.
And focus on this. And when I got to USC, I created that same habit. Now I'm like, oh, this is actual playbook. This is what they do. So when that time came for me to get on the field, I was like, oh, I've seen these formations.
Wow, okay.
Like, I know when he's in that formation, this is what's going to happen. Now, was I guess, able to react the way I wanted to?
Yeah.
Probably not, because I wasn't game speed ready yet from high school to college.
Gotcha.
That's what I was really lacking. But I'm like, can I do this? Absolutely. But it's going to take me about 4 to 6 months to actually get acclimated to the speed. Because we had, Robert Woods, Matt Barkley, TJ, like these dudes were out there moving, like very fast. They were already juniors and seniors at SC.
They're ready to go.
Like they're ready to go, as you can say. So when I got there and got to the NFL, a lot of that playbook was crazy enough the same exact playbook I did in high school. Wow. When I got to college, it was Monty Kiffin. He created the Tampa 2. He was the 4-3, and his defense was extremely basic, but he allowed you to read the offenses. So it was almost like it was set up for me to be successful. Wow. And then when I got into the NFL, that same family tree of the 4-3 Monty Kiffin defense was Pete Carroll's, which was under Gus Bradley, who was the head coach at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right.
Then he ends up leaving Jacksonville Jaguars and becoming a defensive coordinator at the Chargers, which they picked me up. So I was fortunate to have the same exact defense for almost 7 to 8 years straight.
Wow.
So that was a blessing in disguise. So I was able to just, offense, you're going to be sitting in the 3x1. all right, it's either you gonna run it this way, where's the bubble, or you gonna throw it to the third receiver on the backside. Wow. So I kind of already knew everything that was going on because of that preparation. Wow. My high school coach instilled into me.
That's insane. So wow, you almost got a little cheat sheet prior to everything.
100%. And that's what I was more or less when I got into coaching. I'm like, hey, we have one specific defense. Obviously, we change it up so the quarterback sees something different, but the defense stays the same. If we're running cover 3, we're going to run the same cover 3, but some safety's going to rotate different. We're going to give you different looks, but it will stay cover 3. Wow. So when you know that, if you're going to drop to the same spot every single play, wouldn't you want to know how they're going to beat us? Is it the middle? Is it the flats? When you know that, now you know they're going to obviously pick your weaknesses. They're not going to throw it to you where they know you're going to be at. They try to throw it where they know you know they're not going to be at. So that's where I got to be able to focus a lot on the offenses and shoot, I guess, exposed by Will right there.
That's sick, dude. I know that. But the fact that you were doing that already in high school, so you were already mentally like preparing for the next level as well on top of that, because you knew you got to study and what that looks like too. And people don't forget that. Yes, NFL is the top percentage, the athletes, the strength, the speed, you name it, but there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes I don't see, and that's literally studying the playbook, studying the teams, the tapes, all that stuff. Like, we don't see behind the scenes. We just see game day, like
100%.
Yeah, that's all we see. And so,
and it's crazy because we all notice the Jamar Chases, the Patrick Mahomes, and the Myles Garrett. These are the most athletic human beings, fastest, strong, like you mentioned. Yeah. But then you tend to forget where Tom Brady even started. Correct. 7th round draft pick, like not super athletic. I think everybody still jokes on his 40 time when he ran like a 7 flat. It's like, how did he go on and win 5+ Super Bowls? How was he out running people or throwing these diamond balls when you have people like Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning? They were all drafted, top of the class. But it was because he studied different. He studied his opponent differently. Yeah. And when you can find that edge, because if we're all athletic, fast, etc., that's majority of the NFL. 100%. What gets you above that line?
Right.
Is it your mental toughness? Is it because you have that Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant, or are you studying the game to a level that nobody else is studying? Right. Because we all have the same hours in a day. 100%. Some people, like a Myles Garrett, etc., might just take the back seat and be like, I'm going to focus on taking care of my body. I'm going to make sure I can play 90 exact plays every single game, because if I'm in 90 plays, I'm going to get a sack.
Yeah, I'm changing the game. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Where Tom Brady was like, I'm going to study obviously my offense to a T, but I'm about to go study that cornerback. I'm going to study the defense. I'm going to study the defensive coordinator and figure out what he doesn't like.
That's crazy.
And I think that's where a lot of these players go good to great very quickly.
I see a lot of people interview like, when they give flowers to another opposing defense or whatnot, they're like, that guy knew our plays. Like he would call them out on the audibles. I'm like, and there's like that's dedication. I mean, he's watching film day in and out. I'm like, that's impressive. And that goes back into life and career wise, right? If you want to be the best, you got to understand. Study your craft, know what you're doing, and that's super important to get to the next level. And I think that's super important. But I think what I've noticed, Hayes, a lot of athletes, when they go transition to business, they kill it. Because you guys are so regiment, you're so determined. You know what you got to do. You know what that looks like. It's just ingrained in you. And I know a lot of athletes who do business and they just kill it because that's what they know, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's just in you what you know. I think that's what makes you so successful to the next venture you're doing now too.
No doubt. And that's where I give a lot of athletes credit. And I mean, it's unfortunate to see some not take the higher path, because I agree. It's extremely tough to walk away from football, especially when you've been doing it since 7 years old. Right. That's majority of your life. But you still have to remember you got a majority of your life still to live. 100%. That's the switch that needs to come on. And to your point, we have that regimen built. We've been having schedules since 11, 12 years old.
Man, that's
7 a.m. you doing this, 9 a.m. you doing this. You got to go to class. You get in the class checker and whatnot. And it's like, well, for you to perfect every single thing that you've done in football for 10 plus years, I really believe you can start a business and apply that same 100%. Foundation 100%. And be successful. 100%. Now, 100%, you got to find a good team. You can't always just find the homies, find XYZ, and the outcome is not going to come quick. No. I think that's where everybody believes that you can transition and it's going to come quick.
No.
And you're going to see the NFL money that we used to have. Not going to happen, brother. And I think
it's a different grind. It is
100%. Yeah. And when you apply, like you said, those foundations that we've already been instilled with, and you get that good team and you still have that mindset that I want to be pro in this different aspect, I think it's cool. I think that's exactly why I partnered with, Blake and Brock, and which is my cool team. I still had that mindset, which they had that same mindset, even though they didn't play sports.
Sure.
They had the same mindset, and I recognized that. I'm like, oh, we can go far together. And I think that's why we created Enclave Key and the Celebrity Poker Tour.
Good point, man. I think you're right. And I think having the people around you like Brock and Blake, who I know personally well, they're different minds as well. They've been trained differently from a young childhood to think differently. And that's what I think makes you guys all combined very successful in that sense. So now let's talk about CPT, man. All right. So now like you said, after football, people go, what am I going to do at this point kind of thing? You got hooked up with Blake and you started Enclave Key first and foremost, and then you transitioned to this new business. And tell me how that started.
Bro, it's funny to think because just to backtrack a little bit, I mean, you talk about moms wanted to go to real estate, I wanted to go to coaching. I never thought that I would be starting, a business with one of, two of my really good friends, Brock and Blake, and that business was an influencer marketing company called Enclave Key, which all originated from, I guess myself. I after getting released, I wanted to be able to have a passive income, and that was through social media deals, marketing in different types, brand activations. But I wasn't Tom Brady, I wasn't Ray Lewis, I wasn't these big individuals. I was a 7th round pick, but I didn't go get 7 championships. I was on the cusp player. I ended up getting released, so I'm like, how can we get brand deals for players that, are sitting in my thing? And I remember reaching out to Blake, who had, connections with all these different type of companies, and he ends up bringing me a couple of $1,000. So I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like a couple of $1,000 is win. This is more than my agent ever brought me in 5 years.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, okay, I got bigger individuals like, Robert Woods, Marquise Lee, Antoine Woods. Like, what can we do for them? He ends up bringing them more than they brought me. And I'm like, hey, bro, I think we got a business here. Like, what do you think? And I'll never forget. He was like, I'm about to drop out of college. And I'm like, hold on. I didn't say we should do all of that. And he was like, yeah, I'm about to drop out of college. Like, oh, snap. Like, call me back. And he ends up, I think, calling Brock, calling myself, and we started Enclave Key, a full-scale marketing company. And after 4 years, we pretty much accumulated 1,500 celebrities. That was YouTubers, athletes, models. I mean, you named it. We had over 150 publications. We were doing brand activations for the Raiders, the Chargers. I mean, everything that you would have believed that would have started in the first 4 years, we did not know.
So 4 years?
4 straight years, we just accumulated all of those. It kind of more or less took off in 2021, 2022, right after COVID, because a lot of companies were, firing a lot of their marketing companies and hiring boutique agents like us. And we already had access to, like I said, I would say almost 60% of the NFL because of my connections, Blake's and Brock's. So it was really, really cool. But the thing that we wanted to do was, again, our root reason why we started is to cater to our celebrities. How do we continue to elevate them while making everybody win at the same time? So we was like, when we do X social media, managing or, brand deal, we would only mobilize, 6, 7 of those celebrities. But we got 1,500. I'm like, now I feel like CAA or Athletes First that has 1,500 athletes.
We went from boutique now to we're a big.
Exactly. And I'm like, how can we get this bigger? So we start to scale. We threw activations and events with Luxury Lifestyle magazine, where we put, guys like Austin Eckler on the front of a really cool marketing magazine like Luxury Lifestyle, hosted a dinner, had a lot of people come out, VCs, investors, the whole nine. It was amazing. And it was like, okay, this is cool. This is what celebrities likes to be a part of. They like to mingle. They like to start businesses. And I'm like, okay, that's one. This is really cool because they love it. It's different from me texting them like, hey, I'm going to send you some Coca-Cola, post on social media. Like, that's like, okay. Now it's getting funner. It's like they're answering, text messages. Not saying they weren't, but it was just like, it made it much more, the connection to be more organic. So we was like, all right, let's figure something out. This has been a great, few months. Let's go out to LA, get an Airbnb and like really decompress. And at this time, Blake loves poker. I don't even know how to play poker. I'm just like, all right, like let me ask some of the homies. I asked Austin Eckler, Tana Mojo, Bryce Hall, a dozen other, celebrities. And I remember texting them, I'm like, hey, do you play poker? Absolutely. I'm like, I don't even know all the homies play poker, but all right. So we're at our Airbnb home, and we have this table set up with all those celebrities. and we're watching it. We like, wow, the banter, the back and forth, the trash talk. We like, if we prop up a camera in here, this can be a podcast on wheels. This can be so viral that I think this can be something cool.
Sure.
And I'll never forget, fast forward to 2023, August, we had our first ever Enclave Invitational with 60 different, celebrities, and it became one of the most watched celebrity poker events in the history.
That's insane.
And it was like, with these type of celebrities, awesome.
Yeah.
For what we can do, let's run with it. Yeah. So I think, 3 to 4 months after that, we rebranded to what we call today the Celebrity Poker Tour, and the rest have been history. We kicked that off in the Super Bowl of 2024, which happened here in Las Vegas.
Perfect timing.
We had Will Levis, Keenan Allen, Eric Ebron. I'm talking about. It was a plethora of just athletes just sitting in the room, and that was almost our Super Bowl because that kicked us off into what we are today. And I mean, we haven't looked back since.
That's crazy. I remember you guys are still starting, right? You're like getting a bunch of players. Now you guys are so popular, you're turning away people now at this point. Is that correct?
Yes, unfortunately, that's that's always the hard part of the business. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's what a cool feeling where you have to do a lot of calls and texting, like we need people just to grow, of course, grassroots, branding, marketing at least, and now you're starting to turn people away. I mean, there's no better feeling like, okay, now we've created something and people want to be involved, and that's huge too. So kudos obviously for that growth, which is amazing. And to do a new business, I mean, there's obviously a lot of different kind of poker industries out there, right? Whether it be so your goal, your differentiator is going to be the different heads, different industries coming together on one table. Is that correct?
A little bit, and I think the best way to describe it is we like to put together these storylines. We like to put together a really cool show. Okay. Because the cool thing about Celebrity Poker Tour is nobody really knows how to play poker. Okay. When you go watch WSOP, World Poker Tour, etc., those are the best of the best poker players. Got it. I give them that credit. When you see the fumbling of chips, you see the calculating in the brains. Yeah. When you come to Celebrity Poker Tour, we're talking. We're having fun. There's some trash talk. Yeah. You see some slight flirting going on. There's some shots going on. Like it's almost like I said, like we're creating these cool storylines. Cool. It's no way in the world. I shouldn't even say no way. It's cool to see a Dwight Howard sitting next to a Black Chiton, who's then sitting next to a Michael Block, who's a golf champion, who's then sitting next to 24 Karat Golden, who's one of a platinum gold, artist and whatnot. Like all these different walks of life coming together to just play poker. That's cool. And the cool thing about it is it's all fake money. Yeah. They're playing just like how we play at the charity thing. It's like, all right, JD, I'm gonna get you right now. But it's fun. It's back to the root of poker. Remember when you first learned how to play poker, whether it was 15 cents, 50 cents, whatever. It was the funness in it.
You got the people around you, CPTs blowing up, and to your point, what you're trying to create there with the right people who don't know poker coming together and just having a good time. But now that poker, your company's taking off, are people practicing more because they want to be more competitive?
Absolutely. I think the biggest response I get when I reach out to a lot of these celebrities is, I don't know how to play poker. Okay. How am I going to be good? Like, what should I do? Like, it's a lot of poker pros in there, and I just honestly, it's great vibes. It's a great perfect place for you to actually learn. Yeah. And I think when you get in the room, you're going to always want to come back. And when you want to come back, you're going to actually know how to play poker because of that reason. And I've seen a lot of players, prime example, John Johnson III, who literally just won our poker tournament, the last one. I remember his first ever poker tournament was our Super Bowl one back in 2024. And didn't know how to play, I guess, a lot. He's played on his phone very briefly, but just know, the hands, not the style, when to bet, when not to bet, how to bluff, not to bluff, all the things that go into poker. I'm still learning, but again, that was somebody that got better every single tournament. And it proves that if you put the craft in, you put everything that we talked about in, you're going to eventually be successful, and that's why he ended up winning the Celebrity Poker Tour.
That's super cool.
Absolutely.
Are people practicing now? Like, oh, I kind of want to do other satellite tournaments. Are people doing that? Like, getting like, hey, is that a thing or no?
I think it's more so like they use Celebrity Poker Tour as that's their Super Bowl.
Okay, gotcha.
And if they're going to practice not on camera. Gotcha. They're going to do a home game how we like it. Like, I'm going to practice here, lose, $50. Like, that's not a lot. Because then when you come into Celebrity Poker Tour, you play for free. Right. You go hang out with all the celebrities. And I think the part that they really look forward to. Obviously, it's awesome when you win the Celebrity Poker Tour. But I think the biggest plus and the biggest advantage of being a part of the Celebrity Poker Tour is the ecosystem that's 100%. There. You're talking about 70 to 80 celebrities. There's only 150 people total in the entire, building. The ability to network in those rooms is 0 to none. You know, like you're meeting athletes, you're meeting people that own, some of the top podcasters in the world. You're talking about VCs, people that own private jet companies. I'm talking about the best mingling site that you can ever go on is at the Celebrity Poker Tour. So I've seen, relationships come from it. I've seen investors, invest in different companies in these places. And I'm like, I didn't even know this was going on. I'm salty that I couldn't invest in some of these companies. I want to get on the pod too. So no, it's a blessing. I mean, we really love it. We love what's coming out of it, and I think everybody's winning while you attend the Celebrity Poker Tour.
I think your slogan is the most viral poker game. Is that correct? Is that what's your slogan? I think it's the most viral poker game out there. Or?
I didn't even know we had a slogan. I mean, we try to say make poker fun again. But
I saw on your website. Obviously, I do my research, but yes, I think the most viral poker game out there, right? Which is huge. Because you actually have some people who have a lot of influence already, and they come all together, and it's even bigger, which is huge. So, do you have like a mandatory who can come, or is it how do you determine that?
It's all based on those storylines. Obviously, we have our Super Bowl tournament. That's our NFL game. When it gets closer to August, when NBA finally knocks out their season, we get the NBA. Then we have a content creator group mixed with actors and comedians and whatnot. And then the November championship is a collective of all players that are more or less available. So it's not we're turning away from. It's like, hey, if we're doing an NFL heavy game, like it's like, can we push you to this specific date? If you're an artist or a big time, like somebody like a Waka Flocka, hey, we would love for you to play in the NFL game, but I think if you can play in this date, this will be more yours, because we have Eon Dior, we can have India Love, a bunch of other people that's in your realm, and I think those are the people that you'll mesh with.
That makes sense.
Not saying you wouldn't mesh well with the NFL guys, but we like to give them that option. So,
and there's another back end business that we don't see either, right? You're really, I think of a wedding reception, like, you know what I mean? Who's sitting who, who's in a vibe, you know what I mean? So you're probably doing that behind the scenes too, then.
Absolutely. And I think that's the fun process as well. Is just
like, they're gonna jab. Let's put them on that.
100%. We got SC players next to UCLA players. You already know that beef is going down. You got Michael Block with Garrett, Garrett Clark, who's both, golfers and whatnot. And I think even with the Chrisley family, seeing how they mingle, they just got, pardoned by President Trump. So seeing them mingle with the group was awesome to see. Cool. With Nev Schulman, who was at with Catfish and whatnot. It's just so much fun to just see all these celebrities mingle with each other, and it's no bad blood. Everybody's just having fun. You already know the tequila's moving around the bodies, their auras, their personalities. Just like, wow, like it's we all hear about celebrities being these bad individuals, but when you park all of them in the room, all pride goes aside. They know when they talk to somebody, it's a value. I'm just like, wow, like I'm not a celebrity, and I've talked to every single one of these celebrities, and it's been a great conversation. They love Celebrity Poker Tour. They love the people that we invite. They even love the guests that we invite.
Very cool.
Like we have over 50 to 60 guests that aren't celebrities, and those guests love the celebrity. They're like, man, I walked up to Eric Ebron. I walked up to Keenan Allen. He said, what's up to me? And I'm like, bro, like I don't know what atmosphere you can do this in, because if you go to the Chargers game and you try to go walk up to Keenan Allen, he might look at you like what you doing on the field? Like if you haven't got tackled already, you know. 100%. So it's a great atmosphere that we're really trying to push for in the poker space. At the end of the thing, like we just want to make poker fun. We're not trying to compete with WSOP, nor are we competing, because it's different. I think what we're doing is trying to elevate the game so everybody wins.
I love that. And I love that you're clearly saying, hey, we're not coming to get you. We're in our own lane. Like we're our own lane. We're doing our own thing. And you're executing at a high level. Was there any point with you and Blake and Brock together go, oh, I think we made it. Like, I think this is like bigger than we thought. Did you have that moment, or are you still?
I have a saying, or I shouldn't even say I have a saying. And I rest in peace to Monty Kiffin. He used to say, you never got it. Never say you got it. Like when he would give us a playbook, or when we'd be on the field and he'd be like, hey, Hayes, you're supposed to have the D back right here. You jumped in the C gap, but you go in the D gap. And I'm like, oh, you're right, coach. I got it. He's like, never say you got it. Never say, because you never got it. And I think that approach with myself, and I think I don't even have to say it to Blake. I don't have to say it to Brock. I don't even have to say it to the entire CBT team that we know we are never satisfied until one day when we sell, or one day when we're just, not trying to do it. So we're not looking at the finish line. We're looking at how can we be great today, which is how can we secure, 25 of, our 25 player pool. How do we get the best celebrities in this one? How do we make this exciting for our fans? How do we make it exciting for poker as a whole? And I think us having that approach every single day that we walk into the CBT headquarters, that's what I guess pushes the team, and that's where we want to be. I think you would agree, like when you start looking ahead, like, 100%. Oh, we made it. Like things tend to start to fall off.
100%.
Like in any team.
100%.
It reminds me of I don't know what happened because I wasn't in that locker room. When we talk about that New England game versus the Falcons, and Falcons was up 30 something points, I believe there was some, we got it. Okay. We gonna win it.
How could you not though, right? It would be 100%.
I mean, that's where you have that Kobe Bryant, job's not finished.
Yeah, that's right. Job's not done.
More. We've seen all these commercials. We heard all these sayings, and I think that's what keeps us going. I want more. I want us to, when I see a table of LeBron James sitting next to, I don't know, Margot Robbie, who's then sitting next to Leonardo DiCaprio, like the biggest names in the world. Like,
and then you're still not going to be like, I'm not satisfied. I want world leaders at this table.
Exactly. Let's get Trump there. Let's get Putin there. Let's see how we can have a great debate sitting here at the poker table. 100%. And I think that's where we all strive to, because we don't look at like, oh, what's in the mirror review? We've been dominating this entire way. Like we are the most watched poker tournament in, like, no, how do you beat that? How do you go above that? Because there's no way that I ever walked into a football game and got 15 tackles last week and I'm not trying to get 16 this week. 100%. Kobe got 80 and was trying to get 84 the following week. So but we heard the same thing with Larry Bird. He was like, oh, you dropped 50? I'm going to go out there and get 55. 100%. So I think that mindset, not only for myself, because I know that's how I believe. 100%. I already know that's how Brock believes. That's how Blake believes, and the entire team believes.
100%. I think that's huge for any business owner or peer, because I'm an entrepreneur myself, like including yourself, is you definitely have goals, but there's little things you got to nail before you get to that goal. Because if you try to skip it to go to the home run, you're going to miss so many journey, growth, mistakes and whatnot. So you're doing it right, because you guys have dreams and aspirations. You guys are hitting it, but you're very strategic, and that's something that's super important. You have an end game. That's obviously to be the biggest and best of all time, but there's little steps you got to do and little milestones you got to hit, and I think you're doing it in the right way, kind of thing. And I think it's hard not to say, all right, let's go to a stadium. It's hard not to do that. Could you execute? Probably, but like that's not our goal at this moment. Our goal is to do this. Our goal is to do that, so that takes a lot of restraint too, and that takes because it's hard not to. Like we've all these people calling us and coming to see us. How could we not do the biggest and baddest? And you are, but in the right way. So kudos to you guys for that.
No, thank you, JD.
No, that's huge. I think any business people should understand that. Any entrepreneurs, like you have to take steps. You're gonna have to have failures. Everyone has your journey too. But what's nice is that you guys have a playbook, and you have a playbook from other companies. You're saying, okay, I see what's going on there, but we want to do it this way too. And you're not reinventing the wheel, you're just changing the wheel how it looks, and that's what you guys are doing now.
And it's fun doing it. I think that's the atmosphere that we all talked about. We created the marketing agency from, like I said, having these celebrities, being able to mingle, intertwine, providing value to them. And I think that's where, when you open up Celebrity Poker Tour's playbook, that's what they're doing. An NFL athlete doesn't have an opportunity to be in front of a camera, which is unfortunate, because that's just what happens. They have the helmet on. We don't even know who these faces are. True. But now if I can come park, 40-something NFL players in Celebrity Poker Tour that has an outfit on, you can see their face. Oh, that's what Ken Allen looks like. That's what John Johnson looks like. That's what the #1 fullback Kyle Juszczyk looks like. Like, that's them. Now you put a name to a face, and I think that's the value. I'm not asking anything from you. I just want you to come play in the poker tournament, and if this is a win for you, come back. Share with your friends, and I think everybody wins from that.
I think they also want to be known as individual too. They're team players. They're my team only, but I want to be individual too. I want people to know me. Like, I'm actually a really funny person, or I'm a really good guy, or whatnot, and that gives them that platform to do so, and everyone else gets that same platform too.
No doubt.
Because we only see them by what they put on social, but nothing else.
And the majority of those comments is if he dropped the ball, it's a lot of bashing, and if he catches the ball, it's all celebrated.
100%.
So it's like, now, like you said, show the personality, be who you are, and I'm sure not only the fan base is going to love you, the other celebrities that you're mingling with are going to love you as well.
That's so true. And I think people forget that you guys are humans too, right? These
Absolutely.
guys, yes, they're on the pinnacle, on the stage of a lifetime for sure. Don't get me wrong, but they're people at the end of the day, and they just want love and respect like everyone else out there. But you guys are giving that platform to do so, and I think they all feel comfortable. That's why they're able to bring down if it's a wall they have or some kind of persona. It's like, no, man, I'm just here to meet and mingle and play some poker. And before you know it, they've created different, like you said, either friends or networks or whatever it may be.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
That's cool. I think you guys created a great thing. I think it's super cool what you guys are doing here. And I love it that you're starting here in Vegas, obviously our home place where we're doing here. There's so many industries coming out from Vegas, and you guys are just one of them. With obviously today UFC being bought out by Paramount for something $7 billion or something outrageous kind of thing, guys. That's huge. I mean, that's the kind of where you guys are heading in that right area too. I think it's just a matter of time, which is cool. I just love to be in the front and to witness and be a fan of you guys, which is cool too, man. So what's next for CPT? What do you got in the year? What do you got going on?
So we have our next tournament August 30th before we tee up our championship tournament at the end of the year, which is November 19th during F1 week. So that's going to be a fun one. But again, we're going to start it off with, August 30th. We have guys like Paul Pierce coming, Mario Chalmers, Patrick Beverly, India Love. So the Christie family wants to come back after the last one. So that's awesome, like we talked about. So yeah, we're extremely pumped. We're still, getting everybody signed up and ready to go, getting hotels set and whatnot. But we're really excited to kick this thing off again one more time for August 30th tournament.
Let's go. All right, last one question, then we'll put on the link below. I'll have their link so you can watch them live. Every influencer, to my knowledge, posts their own or shows it on their own platform. Is that correct? With you guys too? Is that correct?
So we actually have our own YouTube channel, which is the Celebrity Poker Tour. Yeah. But we also stream it out to a handful of other celebrities. Not everyone, but if they have specific, platforms they want to share with their fan base, they could see it. Like the WWE gals love to show on their Twitters. Cool. Some of the YouTubers and streamers like to show on their Kick or YouTube channel. India Love has a Twitch. So it's just whatever they more or less want. But we have about, I want to say 20 to 25 streamers actually showing it on their specific platforms. That's insane.
Better than any cable TV you can get. That's insane. All right, last question. Who would be your celebrity guest? Who's like that would be the dream to have them come and play with us? Who would that be? Or a couple names.
For me, I think it would have to be... This is tough because I have a favorite in like every genre, whether it's a sport. Some names out, I think if I had to have at least a core three, if I can have a Ray Lewis, Eminem, and LeBron James, that would however else I built the rest of the table out, I would keep that a secret. But those three, that would be.
And you're at this table too, yes.
I don't think I can play. I just want to be off to the side, just starstruck fanboy. Like, how do I ask for autograph? How do I ask for autograph? But man, that would make me extremely happy.
Well, it's gonna happen, man. It's just a matter of time. It's gonna happen. But thank you, Hayes, for coming through, man. Congrats to you guys on your success, man. I'm like I said, I'm a huge fan of what you guys are doing here. You're reshaping poker, Vegas entrepreneurship, and you're just doing good things, man. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me and sharing my story.
You got it, buddy. Thank you.
Yes, sir.